Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. We are heading back home from Colorado here, going all the way back to the East Coast in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We have a long trip ahead of us, so let's take a look at what we need to do to make this a successful trip from Colorado all the way back to Myrtle Beach. I hope you liked the first trip. Of course, if you haven't seen the trip from Myrtle Beach to here, you can go ahead and check the link up here, or you could always go down in the description below. I'll have a link there for that trip. But we had a fantastic time driving out to Colorado. We had a fantastic week here in Colorado. But now, unfortunately, we have the long trek home from Colorado. And we'll see how it goes. So stay tuned. Let's take a look at what we need to do. Okay, well, as you can see, the car is dirty. We got trapped in some rainstorms yesterday, got splashed real bad by another car coming the opposite direction, so the car is absolutely dirty. Thankfully, we got some bugs off the front of it when we initially got here, so at least the front's not so bad. But anyway, here is what we're looking at for our trip. So right now, let's go ahead and zoom out here. This is the total trip that we need to try to get done in the next 2 days, 3 days really, 2.5 days hopefully. And as you can see, we have about, what is this, 1, 2, 3, I hate when it does that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stops and then home. So over the next 2.5 days roughly, we're gonna have about 10 stops, supercharger stops to do. So we got a lot of mileage to get under our belt. I think it says it's about 1,700 miles and change to get home. And right now it's actually suggesting that we stop in this supercharger in Goodland, Kansas, which is not the one that I initially thought it was gonna have us stop at, but that's perfectly fine as well. So yeah, so it looks like we got a little bit of driving in the first stretch here, stopping at a slightly different supercharger that we did coming here, because our last stop here, if you remember, was Limon, Colorado, which is right here on that 2470 turnoff. So we stopped there. So looks like we could get a little further today, which is good. And it's estimating that we're going to get there with about 27%, which is plenty. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get on the road here in just a few moments, and we'll go from there. Oh, in the meantime, we have to reset our trips here. So this Colorado trip is everything from there, or from home to here, driving around a little bit, and then here back home. So we're going to leave that as is. We're not going to reset that. What we are going to reset is this one, and we're going to say homeward bound. I think that's how you spell that. Homeward bound, whatever. Close enough. Homeward bound. And then what we're going to do is we are going to reset homeward bound. So 2,118 miles is what we've done so far on this trip. As you can see, 602 kilowatt hours of energy. And we averaged 284 watt hours per mile, so not bad. So let's go ahead and reset homeward bound. I'm going to reset it one more time before we actually drive out the driveway. And yeah, so we'll see how this all ends up in the very end. So let's go ahead and get on the road here in a few minutes and see how the rest of our trip goes. All right, well, good morning. So like I was saying previously, we are heading out right now. It's about 8 o'clock Mountain Time. So if everything goes well today, we'll be in Central Time, hopefully somewhere in Missouri. And our first stop is actually going to be in Goodland, Kansas, which we did not stop at on the way here. At least I don't think we did. No. So we charged up a little bit extra last night. We got to almost about 90%. We're at 88 now. So we're going to be going actually past the Limon, or Limon, I don't know what it's called, the Limon charger. And yeah, so we're gonna just go straight into Kansas, first stop. So that's awesome. So that means we're gonna cover quite a bit of ground, get through Kansas today, into Missouri, and then we'll find out where we're gonna stay. So that's where we're at. Anything else? No. No? Had a good trip?
Awesome trip.
Awesome time in Colorado. Beautiful sights. Never seen stuff like this in my entire life. I've never been this far west before. I am looking forward to losing some elevation though, because It is a little harder to breathe up here.
A little bit.
So, and we're only at 5,600 feet right now, which we were at 8,700 the other day.
We're up pretty high.
Yeah, so 56, 55 is where we're at now. And I'll try to remember to check our elevation at each stop and see, because I should have done that on the way here. We should have checked elevation at each stop. But anyway, we'll see if we can remember to do elevation at each stop. Anyway, we're getting on the road, so stay tuned. This is going to be another pretty fun one and pretty long, and we'll have to make this a two-parter as well. All right, ready?
Yes.
Here we go. All right, well, slight change of plans. We actually ended up in Lyman anyway, because I got to go ahead and use the restroom, and looks like we did about 254 watt hours per mile. Amazing, almost 4 miles per kilowatt hour, 73 miles. So we're gonna go ahead and just plug it in, use the restroom, and get back on the road. It looks like now we can skip the next supercharger and go straight to Colby, which is fine, then Salina, and then Lawrence, and then we should be in Columbia, which it says about 8 o'clock tonight, which would probably be 9:12, considering that I think we skip a time zone. And actually, that's something I wanted to bring up before, is that now that we're going east, we're actually going to be losing more time as we go further east. So going this way, westbound, we are actually kind of gaining time as we went. We would go into a new time zone, we'd gain an hour, and then of course we're chasing the sun as we go. This way we're actually going to be losing an hour, and the sun's going to be behind us the whole time, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get home daylight wise. Anyway, let's get the car plugged in here and see what our charging is like. It started preconditioning because I didn't put the Lyman supercharger in until kind of last second, and so it just immediately started supercharging. Once we hit that charger, it looks like somebody might have ran out on the stretch. They have their Tesla plugged in while it's sitting on the flatbed. Unfortunate for them, it does happen. Sometimes you don't consider the wind and other, you know, factors and how far you are from a charger. But so we're plugged in now. It says 8 minutes to continue trip, which is fine. We're only getting 77 kilowatts. The battery's probably still pretty cold. It's only 63 degrees outside, so that does kind of make sense. But we don't have to be here very long. We're literally just here just enough to get to the next charger, and so far I can use the restroom. So I need to probably run over to the Sinclair Dinosaur gas station, which Sinclair really is the most, when you think about it, accurate gas station out there, because it's actually a dinosaur, which is where we get all the gasoline from. It's from dinosaurs, because it's dino juice. Anyway, let's get in there and we'll get back on the road shortly. All right, looks like we have enough energy to continue our trip according to this. So it looks like our next stop's going to be in Colby, Kansas. Looks like we have arrival about 22%. They are just offloading that Model S there that didn't quite make it to the charger, unfortunately. And yeah, so we have a little bit to go here, which has been a pretty decent morning so far. Let me check elevation since I promised I was going to do that. 5317, so we've already lost quite a bit of elevation. And yeah, and we're going to continue to lose more today. But let's get on the road, not waste any time, and yeah, trying to make up some time today. So Colby, Kansas, here we come. Well, just a couple minutes after we left here, now it shows a projection of about 35% at the Colby supercharger, which is a lot more than what it was when we were at the charger. So obviously something has changed and it recalculated, but we might be getting there with a lot more than anticipated. Unfortunately, there's really nothing past the Colby supercharger, or at least nothing that's within that range. But yeah, we're gonna have to stop there anyway, but we'll have to burn up some juice, that's it. We'll just have to keep driving and burn it up. Alright, so we are almost to Colby, Kansas. We got about 16 miles, so we're about 15 minutes away, and we're sitting here and we're getting blasted by this side wind, and it didn't really dawn on me, but I'm looking down at the steering wheel, and the steering wheel's just ever so slightly tilted to the right, and I was like, oh man, my alignment's off, and I was trying to figure out what was going on, but then I'm realizing that it's compensating for the wind, because according to this, we're getting hit by a 10-mile-per-hour wind from the south. And so that's enough to have to keep the autopilot just a little bit off to the right of the center to keep the car going straight. So yeah, these side winds are no joke out here in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's nothing to our right, nothing to our left. It's just wide open, and this wind is just blasting right through here. So it's no wonder like trucks like these big rigs going by here, like they got to worry about these huge gusts coming through. Yeah. Sometimes they tip over. But yeah, so we'll be there in about 13 minutes now, and we'll update you when we get there. Oh, let's do a elevation check while we're here. 3,400. 3,400. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, well, we had an awesome part of this trip. We are at an empty supercharger right now at 19% state of charge. Take a look at this efficiency. We did really well, kept it right by the line. We were doing a little bit over the speed limit, which is perfect. And yep, there's that 10.3 mile per hour wind from the south, cost 6.3% this trip. So right there you can see that just wind takes a lot out of it. 144 miles on this drive, 302 watt-hour per mile. Still pretty good efficiency considering. Now the other thing that's pretty cool too is it's actually saying that we need to be here for an hour to get to Salina, which I think is okay because we're at a place where we can get some pretty decent food. So we actually might just stay here for the full hour instead of trying to charger hop. But let's go ahead and get this plugged in here, just like so. And let's see where we end up as far as our charging speeds. Looks like this guy in the Dodge Ram next to us, he better be just making a U-turn instead of parking there. There we go. All right, good. And yep, there we are. We're ramping up now. 6, 12, 20. Yep, okay, there we go. 40, 76. Yep, and there we go. So we are pretty much up to our version 2 supercharger speeds there. 132. We didn't get a preconditioning message on the screen, which I guess it's fine because really we can't take much more than 130. I'm surprised it's that low actually, 131. I thought we would be at least 145, 150 at this state of charge, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We got to be here for a little bit anyway. Just taking a look over here real quick. Let's take a look at, let's see, chargers. So let's do, yeah, it's north up. So what's the next charger here? And that's Hayes. So I guess what it's asking us to do is actually skip over Hayes and go straight to Salina, which is actually going to be good for saving us some time. So that's why it wants us to charge up as much as it does. And yeah, so we will just have to do that. Unless we eat real quick and get out, then I'll add the Hayes supercharger in the middle there. And then we'll just continue our trip to Hayes instead. We'll just stop one more time. Well, in the meantime, let's just get inside, get some food, and yeah, go from there. We'll see what it looks like when we get out. All right, well, we finished up lunch. Something I didn't notice is even though the car still says 11:51 a.m., according to my watch, it's 12:51 p.m. So we actually must have hit the other time zone, which is interesting. So we actually just ate lunch around normal lunchtime. And just so you can see, we're at about 3,200 feet of elevation, so definitely lost some elevation here. It's saying that we have 30 minutes left to continue the trip. We're at 80% state of charge. We are obviously not sitting here any much longer because 63 kilowatts? I don't think so. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to add a stop, and we're going to add a charging stop, and we're going to say we're going to stop in Hayes, Kansas. Throw that in there, let it do its recalculation, and there we go. We should be good to go now. So it says we'll get there with about 35%, so we'll have to burn a little bit off on our way there. And yeah, this way we're not sitting here for another half an hour unnecessarily trying to charge up to 100%. That's ridiculous. Okay, Hayes, Kansas, here we are. The rain just started to come down. As you can see a little bit on the windshield, definitely rained here, and it looks like we missed it. So it looks like it is in front of us. So we have to sit here and charge up a little bit. We did 106 miles on that, 330 watt hours per mile. That wind is pretty brutal, as you can see from this. 10.6 mile per hour wind from the south cost 8.8% this trip. So yeah, it definitely hurts, especially when you're going at higher speeds. So we just got to plug in for a short while, and of course this is just a version 2 here as well. We're already at 34%, so we won't need very much to continue our trip here. But you know what? That's okay. We'll go ahead and get this plugged in, and yeah, we're gonna go for a quick walk, and then off we go onto the road. So we'll see you in just a little bit. Well, I should have paid attention before we walked away from the car, because we were only getting 53 kilowatts right now, which is not good. I should have paid attention to this. All right, so I'm gonna move over to the next stall and see if we get anything better. All right, so as I plug in, it's starting to rain just a little bit more outside. And let's see where we're at. We don't need very much to make it to the next charger, but with the way the wind has been and with the way that the rain looks, I don't want to get caught having not enough. So that already looks better. 76. I don't know why we are so limited here. This just seems really, really weird. 76 kilowatts does not seem right. There is an EA station down the road that I'm thinking about going to, but I don't know if it's really going to be worth it at the moment. 76, 75. Let me take a look at this. Somebody did just pull in on that stall way down on the other end. They're at 1A, 2A, 3A, 1B, 2B, 3B. So we are not sharing according to the way that that schematic is set up. But we are getting pretty poor speeds. I can't believe that. Anyway, we'll ride this out for a little bit, and then we'll see what happens. All right, well, some time has passed, and we have enough, according to the Tesla, that we could continue our trip. It did not get any better. 75 kilowatts is about what it maxed out as. We have now 3 total Teslas here, including myself. They all plugged in. It looks like somebody on PlugShare about an hour ago just posted the same problem, only getting about 55 kilowatts. Yeah, so anyway, very weird situation. Must be limited to all the chargers, but we are going to go ahead and get out of here because we're good to go anyway. I'm kind of glad we didn't pull in at a very low charge. If that was the case, I would have went to the Electrify America and then charged up over there, which is something you don't hear very often. So anyway, our next stop will be Salina, Kansas over here, which is another version 2 with 6 stalls available. So we're gonna go ahead and get there in about an hour and 20 minutes, so just about 93 miles. So another short jump, but that's all we need because we're not really benefiting from staying here longer. So let's go ahead and get back on the road here. Well, almost a mile onto the highway, we started hitting rain, and now we're in for it a little bit. It's not terrible right now, but we did reduce our speeds just a little bit, and it is saying that we're going to get there with about 18%, which is plenty of buffer, and we'll be there for around, well, I guess it'll be a little early for dinner yet, but anyway, we'll get to the Salina, Kansas charger in a little bit. Hopefully this weather doesn't get any worse, and hopefully we can get through the other side of it, but it does not look like there's much of an other side to it at the moment. So we'll see what happens in the next hour or so. We are about 15 minutes from the Salina supercharger, and the rain is just starting to stop. And it looks a little bit more clear ahead of us. Behind us, it's just dark. So we finally made our way through. Now we're going to be there in about 15 minutes, and I just hope that we're not there long enough for the storm to catch up to us. So we're just going to keep cruising, going as we are, and hopefully we can get to the supercharger, get plugged in, charged up, and out before the storm catches up to us. And then I can't believe this, but we are really not far from the end of the day here. I mean, we got Salina, which will be there for a little bit, Lawrence, Kansas, and then we're going to be looking to stop in Columbia, Missouri tonight. So we're really doing pretty well here. And then we still got to stop for dinner. It says we're not going to be to the hotel till 9:30 tonight, just about.
It might be another late night.
It might be a late night, but that's okay because we're already 401 miles into this trip already, and my goal was to get about 700 miles for the first day. So 300 more miles for the day, and then we can call it. Wow, look at that guy with the Equinox towing 2 cars behind him. He's got a lot of faith in an Equinox. Anyway, so yeah, we'll update you when we get to the charger. All right, Salina, Kansas. First time at this supercharger, because last time we were in Salina, we actually just charged up at the hotel. So here we are, 300 watt hours per mile for that 94 mile stretch there. Our efficiency got pretty good at the end because we were slowing down a little bit, I guess. I'm not really sure. But yeah, looks like we're getting a little bit of wind still, not too bad. The rain just started up again, very, very slightly. And let's see if this is I don't know if this is a version 2 or version 3. Oh yeah, I gotta turn off the headlights because they were on. All right, let me go ahead and plug it in now. It appears to be a version 2 based on the size of the cables there. So let's go ahead and just make sure we're getting proper charging this time. So this way we don't walk away too fast. So just make sure that we're getting at least 100 kilowatts before we walk away from the car. But there we go. I just heard everything starting to click on. The car is now starting to ramp up. We are looking at, looks like a red Model 3 just pulled in. I think they were at the last charger with us. And there we go, 145. So yeah, we are at a version 2 and charging up. All right, it says 25 minutes to continue our trip. And just to kind of update, we're getting to Lawrence, Kansas next. That'll be around 6:30. So that'll probably be when we find something to eat for dinner. So we'll go ahead and charge up here, get to that supercharger, see if we can find something to eat. All right, we'll check back with you in a little bit. So I just came back out to my car and realized that that other Tesla pulled in to the shared spot with my charger. Come back to my car and I'm doing like 70 kilowatts. So just lost all that time of fast charging. All right, let me get it plugged back in. All right, so I got it plugged back in here. So I had plugged into 2A and then he plugged into 2B and took part of our shared power there. So now we're back up to 116 kilowatts, which is where we wanted to be higher than that, but unfortunately it seems to be dropping some more. But yeah, that was unfortunate. We'll see how the rest of this charge goes. Just a little heads up here. So it looks like it changed our charging to Abilene, Kansas for the supercharger next, which is only, you know, not too far from us. It looks like about 23 miles. I don't know why it would do that. But anyway, which is a version 3, which would benefit us a little bit. However, if I charge up a little bit more, because it was originally saying to go to, let's go ahead and turn this on. It was originally saying for us to go to Lawrence, which was this one here. But it looks like it changed our route possibly as well. So the other option here is that we could go to Topeka. This one is the version 2, but this one is a version 3, and that's only 113 miles away. So if we happen to stay here a little longer, we can actually probably get over to the Topeka one, and then that should give us enough charge to get through all of Topeka, Kansas, and get out the other side. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. So I don't know why it wants us to do this little jump here. Another car just pulled up. Hopefully they're not going to be taking, what are they at? They're at 1A. So yeah, we should be okay there. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and just maybe wait this one out for a minute. It says 20 minutes to continue trip. That doesn't make any sense. Did it change chargers again? Abilene. I don't know why it's got that there. Actually, let's redo this. Out of curiosity, I just want to see what it says here. So, redoing this, Abilene, and then Concordia, Missouri. Okay, so yeah, so if we charge up in Abilene, which would be a 250, we would be able to get all the way to Missouri on the next charge there. So that's not too bad. And then we're looking to stay somewhere in let's see, that is St. Charles, Missouri, and that's Marion. That's Tennessee. That's way too far out. Concordia.
We're looking for Columbia.
Yeah, where's Columbia? That's the one that we wanted to be at. Columbia. Okay, so this is Columbia here. So Columbia is 281 miles, so we're going to definitely have to stop at least one more time before we get there. And it looks like Columbia has plenty of chargers there anyway, so we'll probably make that our stop, since that, I believe, is about 700 miles. Almost exactly 700 miles, or give or take a little bit, but yeah, so I think we'll try to make that our stop for tonight in Columbia. But in the meantime, we got to figure out what we want to do here. Do we want to charger hop again, or do we want to wait here to get... So right now it says our next charger is Abilene. But why does it want us here for 45 more minutes to go to Abilene if that's only 23 miles away? I'm really confused right now by this. I don't really understand why it's calculating this out like this. Huh. Very weird, very weird. Yeah, I'm gonna look into this and see what the hell's going on. All right, well, I ended up doing a complete reset on the car by, you know, holding down the two buttons for 5 seconds and waiting for everything. It came back on and it was still kind of acting weird, but now I got it to do what I was expecting it to do, which is stop in Lawrence. So in all the time that I wasted trying to figure this out, we ended up charging up enough now to get to Lawrence perfectly fine. So we're at 67%. We're still doing about 90 kilowatts. This charger's getting a little bit busier now. We have 3 cars here. Thankfully, nobody has taken the stall that shares with me at this point, which is really nice. So we are able to get our full speed as best as we can with this version 2. And it is kind of starting to spit again on us, and we got to get out of here. So this... oh, there we go. And there's our notification we can start going. So that charger there, which is in Lawrence, Kansas, is a version 3. So that should give us some pretty quick speeds when we get there. We are going to probably look for a place to get something to eat as well. And yeah, so we'll go there and figure it out from there. But anyway, yeah, so let's go ahead and get on the road and hopefully get in front of the storm, and we won't have any more rain for the rest of the day. So let's go ahead and unplug and get out of here. Oh, yeah, by the way, completely forgot to do the elevation check, but we are at 1,250 feet altitude now. So, yeah, so definitely a lot lower than we were just a few hours ago. All right, let's get out of here. yeah, so still in Kansas, and we got out of that initial storm that we took about an hour and a half to get out of, and now we just went headlong right into another system here, and it's not looking good up ahead. It looks like it's going on for miles and miles and miles, so this is slowing us down a little bit. In fact, we're getting these messages here. See if you can grab that: autopilot speed limited due to poor visibility. We've been getting those when going through some of these really hard rains. So yeah, we're slowing down a little bit, but thankfully we're towards the end of our day here. We're already over 460 miles, so another 250 miles or so, we'll be done. Our next stop is going to be in Lawrence, Kansas, which should be in the next hour and a half. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. Unfortunately, we hit all this rain. The entire trip to Colorado, we didn't hit a single drop of rain, and I knew that was too good to be true, and it was going to catch up to us. So here we are now, going through a lot of rain today in the middle of Kansas. Well, anyway, we'll keep you up to date, let you know if anything changes. I see some brake lights up ahead. I think people are just starting to slow down. And we've got a disabled car on the left here. So, oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. We have a Mustang, looks like spun out in the middle of the highway, and somebody's either helping them or possibly involved. Wow, and that's scary to see, because that's why you need to slow down in the rain. You really cannot drive the same in the dry and in the wet. This is exactly what happens, and that is not worth it. So we're just gonna cruise and just kind of stay behind some of the slow traffic here in the right lane until we can either get out of the storm or until we get to the supercharger. A couple extra minutes is not gonna hurt us. Anyway, we'll let you know as soon as we get to the next part. Back to blue skies as we come towards Topeka, Kansas. Looking pretty good so far, getting about 302 watt hours per mile. 87 miles into this drive. We'll be at the charger in just under an hour. And yeah, so thankfully we got through all that rain, and hopefully we won't see any more for the day. So yep, we are cruising now. It's starting to open up. It looks like it wants us to go around Topeka as opposed to through it like it did on the way here, and I'm okay with that because there's probably maybe some rush hour traffic. It is Friday after all, so it's probably why it's redirecting us around. But yeah, so we'll be at the charger in a little bit. I'm monitoring our arrival percentage, making sure that we're there with plenty. Right now it says 17, and yeah, we're doing pretty well. We'll see you in a little bit. right, well, that was interesting. So even though I have in the Tesla set to not use toll roads, it just put us on a toll road. And we don't really have much of a choice. It wasn't like I could bail out because we need to get to this charger. And yeah, so now we have a ticket here for the toll. And yeah, that was kind of weird. So I don't know what to think at this point. But yeah, so we're just gonna have to go through it and see what that's all about, and then I guess we'll go from there. Very weird. Either this is like a brand new toll road, or the Tesla navigation screwed up. But yeah, so we just I guess we'll go. This is in Kansas, so we're just still in the Kansas area here. But all right, yeah, we'll see where this leads us. We only got about 4 miles to the supercharger, so we'll just see what happens. Maybe we get off and we don't have a toll. I don't really know. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, well, very interesting situation. So there is some sort of toll road that we just got off. This is actually a service area, like a, you know, a place that you could get off the highway and the trucks are there. There's a McDonald's right there, which I guess we're gonna go grab something to eat. We got here with 17%, so we didn't have enough really to go anywhere else, so we had to kind of take the toll road. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get inside and get something to eat. But 283 watt-hour per mile, 143 mile drive. Got here with 17%, so everything's good. So we're gonna go ahead and plug this in, and I don't know what our plans are for after this, because we may have to ooh, nice to see a version 3 supercharger. And I don't know what our plans are, because we may have to charge up kind of high here just to get to a hotel, and then just stay overnight at the hotel, and then maybe charge sometime in the morning. But anyway, that's where we kind of are, and I guess we're gonna have to figure out paying this toll, this so-called toll. So I guess we'll figure that out in a little bit. All right, cool. Anyway, let's take a look. We're already at 250 kilowatts, 251 kilowatts, so we're getting the maximum speeds here, and we're gonna go get some dinner. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so just looking at the map, we just got something to eat real quick at the McDonald's here, and just looking at this map, it only has us going off to here, and then we're off this toll road. So maybe the navigation is smart enough to put us onto the toll road for just a short while, and then we don't have to pay a toll getting off, perhaps? I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out in a short while, because then it has us cutting through the middle of Kansas City, which is fine, because actually it's probably going to be kind of nice this time of night. And then we should be in Columbia in about 2.5 hours. So, car said that we are ready to go. We're just going to charge up a little bit extra. We're going to stop at the Missouri, the Columbia, Missouri supercharger just to fill up tonight, because our hotel is just ever so slightly past. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So we're going to charge up for another 2 or 3 minutes here, just because we got some other things to finish up in the car. And then we'll be heading back out on the road. We'll see if this toll thing shakes out or not. All right, looks like we're about 87%. Let's just double check this real quick, because I think it may have recalculated our charger. Nope, Columbia, Missouri, exactly where we want to be. And then we have a hotel. Oh, actually, oh, wait a minute. There's actually... Oh, there's 2 Columbia superchargers. Okay, well, this makes more sense all of a sudden. So we have one literally down the street from the hotel, which is actually better, because we can actually hit that first thing in the morning, I guess. Well, actually, it really depends on what time we get in. Okay, so it looks like, as far as I can tell, there's 2 chargers in Columbia, Missouri. They have this one here, and then they have this one over here. This is a version 3, this is a version 2. And this one's really close to our hotel. So I think what I'm going to do, we're just going to go to the version 2. Even if it takes us a little bit longer to charge up, that's fine. Just because it's closer, it'll just make it easier for us to do that. So we're going to go ahead and head to that charger there, and because we're almost at 90% already, so we're going to get there with a pretty decent charge. Let's see what it says, 25%. Yeah, so we're going to get there with a decent charge as it is. So we'll just have a little bit of time at the charger this morning, and then we'll make some stops in the morning. Excuse me, a quick stop tonight, and then we'll have some stops in the morning to continue our trip. So let's go ahead and unplug and get this show on the road here. Only saw one single Tesla here at this entire charger since we've been here. So really interesting. I don't know why they put it off of this supposed toll road, but I guess we're gonna, well, let's just get out of here and see. Alright, so just got through the toll road. So we were only on that road for maybe like 4 miles or something.
Not that.
And so we get to the toll booth, we stick the ticket in, and it's like, your toll, 50 cents. Why? How is it even worth it at that point?
It's not.
But then it gives us change, and it gives us dollar coins. Man, I didn't even know anybody was still using these things. But yeah, because it just spit a bunch of coins out at me. I just grabbed them and ran through the toll as quickly as I could. But
Andrew Jackson.
yeah, so it gave us dollar coins. They're probably not even real. That's funny. Anyway, all right, 50-cent toll, whatever, no big deal. Version 3 supercharger, so it's kind of worth it, I guess. So now we're just cruising on some roads here, and yeah, 2.5 hours to the hotel, and well, we're going to Missouri. Might as well do some gambling with some dollar coins.
that we got from the toll road.
I got these from the toll booth. Anyway, all right, we'll see you in the hotel. So just a quick update, because I completely forgot to tell everybody what our elevation is. So after going down this little hill here in Kansas, we are now at 910 feet. So we are below 1,000 feet, officially. Of course,
910.
yeah. Of course, we're going to be going up a little bit tomorrow when we go through Tennessee, because we'll have to go through the mountain range again, the Smokies. Yeah. But yeah, so we've dropped about 5,000 feet today.
That's a lot.
And change. 5,000 and change. Anyway. All right, 2 hours and 20 minutes to Columbia, Missouri. That's all we got right now. So we'll see you when we get closer. Alright, well, we are back in the rain.
Yes.
Oh, this looks like it's slowing down finally, but yep, back in the rain again. Finally got back onto 70 eastbound, so now we are starting to make up some of our time. And yeah, still 2 hours from the next charger, which is also located next to our hotel. And yeah, so that's about it. That is now the third major rain that we've hit on this road trip from 3 completely separate, at least I believe, 3 different storms. I mean, it's just crazy.
Possibility, yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Anyway. Hear that sound? That's the sound of more rain.
It's coming down pretty hard.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Alright, well, another hour and 40 minutes. Hopefully not like this. All right, made it to Columbia, Missouri. Well, I am tired. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. We're just going to charge in for a short while, get charged up a little bit. You could see our whole today, 726 miles. Technically, we still have a couple more to the hotel. 292 watt-hour per mile, awesome. 280 in that last stretch, 166 miles. So we're just going to go ahead and plug in and see what we get here. All right, just threw in the hotel coordinates here. Looks like, oh, you know what I wanted to do? Hold on. All right, so it looks like for tomorrow we are going to be ending up in Marion, Illinois for the initial charger. So it wants us to charge up here for 40 minutes before we move on. So I think what we're going to do is we are just going to charge up to maybe about 50 or 60% tonight. And then perhaps we can stop here first thing in the morning because it's getting late. I just want to kind of get to bed, get some sleep. But yeah, looks like we're going to have a little bit of a stretch tomorrow morning. As we can see here, we got quite a bit of gap that we have to fill. So we're just going to charge up all the batteries warm, and then tomorrow morning I can swing out here and get the battery preheated for the charging session in the morning, and we will try to see what we can do. Right now we're at 147 kilowatts on this version 2, so since we're pulling some pretty decent charge, I don't want to let this go. So we're going to just let it go for tonight, and then we'll just finish up this video at the hotel. All right, everybody, well, that is the first day of our trip, so we're going to call this episode good. We have another long day tomorrow, and of course another sort of long, shortish day, I guess, on Sunday. So we're going to call this episode done, and then make sure you stay tuned for the next episode. So thanks again for watching. Make sure you hit the like just below the video, and we'll see you on the next episode. And check us out on all our social medias down in the description below. And of course, remember, welcome to the future and welcome to Tech Motoring. We'll see you on the last part of this road trip.